Woo! All right, see, because I never know if there's live, so we're live. I was just a little wait, zombie, 1965. Just get the blood pumping. Long day in the sun. So, so do not adjust your monitor. There is nothing wrong with the color on your monitor. I just may be a little more colorful than normal. I match my new red towel. See, we're both very red today. That's what I get for being in the sun for a extended period of time. Extended is the amount of time that I spent in the sun today. So you can see the amount of sun I got. These are my new seat location view. There it is. That's my view for the games. So, ta-da! Way, kind of like I get to see the whole thing. But yeah, I am way in the sunshine. There is no shade whatsoever. So that just isn't happening. It was really beautiful day. Sunny, gorgeous. I mean, got up unwillingly at 6 o'clock this morning. That's right, 6 a.m. That's what time I got up this morning because the fireworks started then. The loud booms going off, and I was like, you mother. So I pulled the covers over my head and tried to go back to sleep. And then at 6:30, the neighbors started with kegs and eggs. Oh, just rocking it. So I had to, so I made sure I turned the air conditioner on all the way, turned the fan up, closed the bathroom door, put the vent fan on, and pulled the covers over my head again and got 2 more hours of sleep. But, oh yeah, it was a early morning for the big Texas-Ohio State University football game here in Columbus, Ohio. So yes, they absolutely just tore it up. Campus was ablaze. I didn't get a lot of pictures walking. I just wasn't in the mood to do it. Sort of the first game, so I kind of just wanted to get the sea legs going. I'll take the GoPro with me next time, and I'll get a bunch of tailgate, just the crazy amount of people that tailgate and party and everything else. But it was a beautiful day. Like I said, my seats now, or that's my view from my seats. It's interesting. So I have 2 old guys behind me. I swear they were like Statler and Waldorf, the old guys from the Muppets. They look like them. And there were these 2 old curmudgeon guys. And, kind of fist bumped them. And I'm like, hey, these are our new seats this season. They go, these are ours too. Like, we got moved from this section. I said, great. I said, I'm not really because the people in front of me were standing up right away. I'm just like, all right. And the angle's pretty good, so I could kind of just maneuver around them. But I said, don't worry, I'm not really a stand-up kind of guy. And they're both like, yeah, we're not standing up either. I was like, okay, we're going to get along just fine. These 2 old crotchety guys that were just sitting up there and just having a good old time. Yeah, so it was quite a day. Lots of sun. I mean, this is again the crowd picture from my seats, but you could see. I mean, this is the craziness. That's the inside. So if you want to see what inside looks like, that's inside. Just the mass humanity. You can't even walk through it. And after the game, I mean, this is just as far as you can see. It's just the streets are closed and there's 100,000 people that went to the game. 107,000 people at the game, and God knows how many are tailgating that never even go into the stadium. So add another, 20,000? So like 130,000 people or so at the event. It's just, it's daunting for people that have never been to it. I understand. I mean, there was a Ford fighter jet flyover beforehand. We don't get the B-2 bomber. Let's not get crazy now. Even though the president of the university is a Top Gun, I don't think they want to pay that much money to have them come in from Missouri. I mean, what's that going to cost? Like, $1 million to have a flyover by a B-2 bomber? I don't know. As long as they don't accidentally put nukes in them, like from South Dakota to New Orleans. Talked about the other night. But yes, it was a full day. So I was up at 8:30, out the door by 9:30. Stopped at ran to some friends, did a little tailgate action, and then walked down to the game. Went to the game, walked around halftime. After the game, went back out and did some more tailgate stuff, and saw some people. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Because I worked many, many years. I worked tailgates, 20 plus years. I worked tailgates. So beforehand, I was at one location. Everyone came and saw me, and then I would go to the game, and would come back after the game, clean up, and then go to dinner. Which the dinners, I don't know if I've ever told the stories of the dinners. We used to go to this place called Japanese Oriental Restaurant. And I won't go into the stories tonight, all of them, but my God, I mean, imagine 10 of us after working since like 6 o'clock in the morning. It's now 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, 14 hours later. And, we may have had cocktails afterwards and stuff. And 10 people in this restaurant, which was small to begin with, sort of this mom and pop little sushi restaurant. And there's times, I will not lie to you, that my tip was as much as the bill for damage. Because, I mean, we had 15 person at a table, long table, about 7 per side, and 2 of the guys got into it. I mean, there was glass like piled across the whole table. These guys like literally threw down and like dove on each other in the middle of this part while we're eating. And it just, I mean, holes through the rice paper walls. We had some adventures. Let's put it that way. There were some adventures. The tailgate parties were absolutely adventures, to say the minimal at best. But I don't, I have not, the last, I don't know, decade, I don't do tailgates, but I go to every game. I would go to the game because I get season tickets. But normally I just would kind of, walk, because I can walk to the stadium from where I live. So I'd walk, stop at like the outer inn, which is sort of the historic thing. I had the team doing all the stuff for the radio station. So I would just show up and kind of be like, hey, good to see everybody. Knew everyone at the bar, go to the bar for a little bit, and then go to the game. And then come back to the bar, maybe stop at a little tailgate party, and then go back to outer inn and then go home. So I haven't really been like done the whole, go to all the tailgate things. And man, I'm going to tell you what, I don't really miss it. I'm not going to lie. I was like, wow, I do not miss the absolute crush of humanity and some of the junctures they go through. And man, I don't miss the absolutely just obnoxious, hammered people that go to football games all the time. Good God, I was like, I'm claustrophobic and I just needed to stop. But anyway, it was a great day. The football team pulled out a victory, which is wonderful to see. So all in all, it was a good game. I may have, when I came home, sat on the couch for a moment, and the couch may have eaten me for an hour. I'm just saying, there might have been napping involved. So I'm fresh as a daisy. I'm showered, I'm sunburned. And at one point, I literally sat like this and had my arms turned over because I was trying to tan the other side, since I was like, yeah, I'm getting fried. I forgot sunscreen. I forgot that I was going to be sitting in the middle of, the beach. But it is National Beach Day, so there it was. It was perfect. I fulfilled my goal of being at the beach. It was just surrounded by 100,000 people, everyone wearing red. I didn't. I wore this because it has scarlet and gray in it. See, there's a little scarlet. There's some gray, I guess. So close enough. Close enough. So that's what I'm going to go with. And then there's this. There's Heinz. Oops, sorry, I didn't get back to my screen. Click, click, click. There you go. There's Heinz. So a couple people, at least 3 or 4, that were like, oh my God, hey, how's the road trip going? I'm like, oh, it's great. So I think they still think it's ongoing because they've never watched it, so they don't know that it's already all done. So I didn't disappoint people. So it was great, having a great time, love it. Steven's awesome. So watch it like it just happened, even though it's been done since May. And, like it, subscribe to it, share it, comment on it. You got to just comment on it. I promise tomorrow, after I go down to the station at noon, remember, I'm going to go to the station at noon because I'm going to start to do stuff. So if you happen to stop by, I'll be there. And I don't know, bring a cash, bring a credit card. You never know what we might find. Just saying. But yeah, it was, it was fun. I saw lots of people that were like, hey, so how's the thing going? I'm like, yeah, well, Heinz Verified, it's great. So yeah, go check it out. Just because. Then one guy was like, you should start your own YouTube channel. I was like, yeah, I could think about that. I didn't burst his bubble. I just didn't go there. I didn't be like, well, actually, no, didn't do it. All right, so let's see. Today is National Beach Day, so yeah, I spent the day at the beach, just, on sea deck at the beach. It's also Grief Awareness Day. So yes, yesterday my episode ended with a little bit of grief for my neighbor Rita, who passed away yesterday. But I guess if you're going to go, she was in her 80s, I guess it's the way to go. Doing what you love. Like, 1 second she's literally was watering her garden, and the next minute she was on her front porch still with the hose in her hand as the police and the ambulance showed up to give her CPR, still watering the garden. So if you got to go, man, that's the way to do it. Just here today, gone tomorrow. Boom. No hospital stay, no long illness, just blink of an eye. Just like the media are hitting. Just don't even see it coming. All right. Toasted Marshmallow Day. Also, I had no toasted marshmallows, but I did have awareness of my grief. Tomorrow is Eat Outside Day. I'll have a snack outside. I don't know if I'll eat outside. Too many bugs. It's also South Carolina Day because it was the 8th state invited to the Union, I believe. It is Trail Mix Day. Maybe I'll have some trail mix. I have peanuts all the time. It's also Matchmaker Day. Matchmaker Day. Who can I match? Who can I find a perfect match with? I don't know. See what I can do. And then it's Diatomaceous Earth Day. I have no idea why it's Diatomaceous Earth Day. And I'm going to have to look that one up because I'm like, well, okay, great. Diatomaceous Earth. Perfect? Like, why? Just why? Anyway. All right, so things that happen. Okay, so this is what I found to be... I just kind of chuckled to myself like, good luck with that. 1146, Europe leaders outlaw crossbows. Okay? And their reasoning was, and this is what it was intended and believed that it would end all wars for all time. I think that comes in, then we'll just build a better mousetrap. Right? We'll build a better mousetrap. Crossbows. Yeah, sure. Okay, I can't use crossbows anymore. Make something better. I mean, is that like naive thinking or what is that? Is that fantastical thinking? What do you think? Okay, you can't use crossbows anymore, so that will stop wars. Okay, good luck with that. So that's sort of the theme of it all. 1835, Melbourne, Australia is founded. 1836, city of Houston is founded. And that's in Houston, as in Texas, as in the team that came to us today. We saw Matthew McConaughey. Matthew did not leave happy. He's a big Texas guy, and he was down on the sidelines with the number one team, and he was all excited, Matthew McConaughey. He did not leave happy, unfortunately, for Matthew McConaughey. I saw a funny meme of him, and it was, just like Matthew McConaughey in one of his movies. We were just like, and then one of his movies was like the drug overdose, and it was just like, okay, yeah, well, that probably is his day today. It happens. Houston. And in 1850, Honolulu becomes a city. So lots of things happened on this day. It was a very big day for Australia, for Texas, for Hawaii. 1885, 13,000 meteors are observed in 1 hour near the Andromeda Galaxy, which is 2.53 million light years away. First of all, who the hell saw that and counted that many? I'm just getting you had to estimate. There's no way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 30, 40, 50, 60, 20, 22, 23, million. Yeah, that's what we have to say. 13,000 in an hour, right? This seems like a lot. And in 1885, who's seeing that and what are you looking at it with? I mean, telescopes, sure, but I mean, you didn't have like the Hubble or something, right? So I was questioning that one. That one was questionable at best for me, just so you know. 1890, U.S. law is invoked that all meat must be inspected. And it created a whole thing, the inspection of meat for health reasons. Because, I don't know, science. Right? I mean, doesn't that make sense? Science, inspect things, science. We could take some lessons. 1892, the shipwreck of the Western Reserve on Lake Superior. Now, I had to look that up because it wasn't like, apparently the lakes are big. I get that. But apparently there's some really huge, gigantic rogue waves and storms that sink giant-ass ships. I mean, I know that, but a lot. I mean, there seem to be a lot of sunken ships, enough so that there's laws that you aren't allowed to disturb them once they're sunk. But yeah, this thing went down. This thing went down in 1892, and they just discovered it last year in 2024. They found it 60 miles off of the coast of Michigan and in 600 feet of water, broken in two, and the bow was on top of the stern. Now, so this is something I learned very easily to remember: bow, stern, port, and starboard. Okay, so the bow is the front and the stern is the rear. But how do you remember that? Because when the ship is going through the water, if you think about calm water, the water bows to the ship because it goes underneath it. It bows to it. And when it leaves the boat, it's angry. It's all beat up. It's stern. There you go. And port and starboard, port is left. P-O-R-T, 4 letters. Left, L-E-F-T, 4 letters. Port, left. Starboard, right. That's how I remember it. So there you go. There's a wrinkle for your brain to remember the front, the back, the right, the left in nautical terms. Anyway, 1949, I've been waiting for this. I figured it had to show up some point, and it did today. There'll be more, but this one. 1949, WTVN, now WSYX, Channel 6, starts broadcasting in Columbus, Ohio. There you go. Because I was like, okay, I see all these TV stations that are starting. I'm like, well, that had to be, but when am I going to see one from Columbus? And there it is. There's one of them. 1956, Lake Pontchartrain Causeway is opened, and it is the longest continuous bridge in the world. I don't know if it's still the case, but I think it is. I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's a causeway, but it's still a bridge. And then you could actually see, because the Lake Pontchartrain, the levee's about to break, where Hurricane Katrina, because it just hit land, but remember, it's a day or two, but the levees are going to break. So then there was actually Pontchartrain water all the way over there. Just as a mess. A mess. 1963, compact audio cassettes are released by Philips Company in Berlin, Germany. I was like, wow, they're that old, huh? 1963 is when the cassette came out. I was like, I guess so. All right. But I mean, 8-tracks were still being made, but that's when the little cassettes came out. People use a pencil to tighten it up when the little end came out. You're like, oh no. So if you know how to do that, then you've had a cassette tape at some point. Just saying. It's one of those things. 1968, Hey Jude is released on the Apple label in the UK for the first time by the Beatles, their new label, Apple Music. Not to do with Apple Music of today. I don't believe there's any connection. They just happen to have the apple, the green apple, as opposed to apple with the bite out of it. That's happened with Steve Jobs and all that good stuff. The New Orleans Pop Festival in 1969 features T-Rex, the Byrds, Janis Joplin, Grateful Dead, Chicago, and Santana for 25,000 people, which I didn't think that's not big of a number. I mean, for all those bands, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, not that big. I mean, it's a stadium. It's a regular stadium size. It's the size of a kind of indoor arena. It's about 20K. 1972, John Lennon and Yoko Ono perform two shows, or matinee and evening shows in Madison Square Garden, New York City, and it's their final full-length concerts. So that was the last concerts that Lennon performed, a full-length size ever. How did that do that so quickly? Didn't even make it. Wow, that's really ridiculous. Normally the camera goes a little bit longer than that, so I apologize if that one went that fast. I didn't even see it coming. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Normally I see a little countdown on the clock and I can do it, but it usually lasts like 20 minutes. That didn't even last 19. Sometimes you can't win for losing. And don't adjust your color. I am actually this red. Really. I just got way too much sun today. I can feel it. I feel crunchy. You know, you get sunburn, you feel crunchy. Yeah, I feel crunchy, like I'm scrunchy. It's just not super. It happens. What are you going to do, right? Um, uh, let's see. Where are we at? Where did I get lost at? I got lost. Oh, 1973, Donnie Sewell quits the band Wings that he had, in fact, co-founded with Paul McCartney. 1979, it's the first time that we actually have ever been able to record and document a comet hitting the sun. The amount of energy released this is equal to 1 million hydrogen bombs. That's a lot. Enough energy that would basically be a extinction level event if it hit the planet. Let's put it that way. That's a lot of energy be released. But that's what happened in 1972. No, when is that? No, I can't see. 1979. I really was sloppy tonight. My arm is just like... I did fall down today, though. I know. I had new shoes on. My shoelaces were tied, but I wasn't paying attention, and it was completely just my fault. While there's, a million people walking down the sidewalk, and I had the phone in the hand, and I'm just engrossed in what I'm doing on the phone, trying to text people and meet up with them, and the curb came up and tripped me. So I was walking with people. So, it's like a curb going to the apartment. So it was sort of in the sidewalk, so I didn't really see it. Just kicked it and just, I caught myself. I did like a, where you're falling forward. I got 3 steps in, and then, I was closer to the ground. I just kind of like did a barrel roll, landed on my back. I was like, safe. A couple people go, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." I was like, my pride is now injured badly. And my hands are a little sore, but there was no scrapes, no scuffs, no real injuries. Just, complete pride lacking. So yeah, I need to be careful because now that's twice I've fallen in as many days, it seems. So the hell, man. 1984, Sotheby's in London holds a 2-day auction for rock memorabilia. Speaking of rock memorabilia, if you're watching this tomorrow at noon, Sunday, 12 o'clock, I'll be down at the radio station building at 1036 South Front Street, and I will have things to start to sell because I need to sort that place out because, again, they will be doing a full auction. I'm going to hire a company to come do all the equipment, everything, doors, windows, refrigerator, freezers, you name it. So whatever's not sold by then in October when these guys do it, it's going to be out the door. But before then, I need to start sorting things out like files and desks and, I don't know, music. I have a lot of that stuff. So anyway, if you come down and say hi, we'll have coffee because there's a Starbucks next door and we'll figure it out. 1987, Street Fighter. It shows up on the thing as an arcade game, but it's the first game that has specific moves and actions that you can change and adjust. So instead of just, punch, 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 you can like punch, kick, punch, and then combination. So Street Fighter. And it's said by who designed it, but I really didn't want to butcher the poor man's name any worse than I normally do. So I didn't. I just didn't. That wasn't what I did. 1982, Low by David Bowie from his album released in 1977 is made into a Philip Glass symphony. Makes a symphony out of David Bowie's Low from 1977. I went to listen to it. I didn't find it fast enough, so I went back and listened to other stuff. And I'll tell you what I listened to because I got there when we get the birthdays. 1993, The Late Show with David Letterman premieres on TV. Good old David Letterman, the top 10 list of David Letterman. His first guests were Bill Murray and Billy Joel. So yeah, he had some good guests when he started that for sure then, because that was, The Late Show 93. Also 93, 150 million visitors, in fact, visit the Eiffel Tower in Paris. I've been to the Eiffel Tower a couple of times. Pretty cool. So cool, so that I actually went and wanted to be so touristy that I got a baguette and a bottle of wine and sat in the big green grass outside where you're not supposed to and drank wine and made a baguette. So I was like, oh, very French. I think that was the day that the highest point in Paris, went to the very top of the Eiffel Tower, and then went to the catacombs that very same day. And again, catacomb story, still my flashlight right here, the Russian-made hand-pump flashlight. I was telling someone that story about that because they're going to Paris. I said, yeah, if the catacombs are open, go. I said, it's just worth it because to be underground with all those skeletons, it's just wild to think that it's just, just stacks of rotting skeleton. It was just musty, but it just, there's pictures of me somewhere where it's really dimly lit because again, there's no cell phone camera. So this is with a camera, a selfie taking, and behind me you can see the skulls. It's kind of wild. 1994, Gund Arena opens in Cleveland, Ohio. I've been to Gund Arena. I think it was Gund Arena until like 2005. Then it became like Jacobs Field Arena or something. I don't know. Changed names or something. But yeah, good old Gund Arena in Cleveland. 1995 also, CNN joins the internet. Makes sense, I guess. The internet was starting to boom then, right? No, 95, 2005, 15, 25. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. That's about when you start to have that stuff, when it starts to really kick in. Also this is now 2015 because it's just some years later. The Day of the Jackal author, Frederick Forsyth, comes out and says that he basically was an operative for MI6 for over 20 years. So the Day of the Jackal, everything he wrote was a lot more truthful than fictional. We just talked about the Day of the Jackal the other day. I forgot what it was about, but yeah, so maybe that was that the book came out. Anyway, yeah, so this guy's birthday, he basically admitted like, yeah, I was actually a CIA agent, or I was in MI6 for 20 years. That may have been a truthful story about all that. So no wonder he knew what he was talking about. He was a spook. Someone has to do it, right? 2019, because we're dealing with the third one today, right now, the second interstellar object is spotted by Genndy Borisov in Ukraine. He was an amateur astronomer, and it was named 2I Borisov. But yeah, we're dealing with the third interstellar object, and if you watch the internet anytime for any period of time, it's like, it's a spaceship, they're coming to kill us all, they're going to kill us, it's this aliens, and I'm like, all right, really? I mean, are they really going to waste their time with us at this point? I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're going to fly all the way across, like, light years of time and space, to come kick our ass, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to be much of a fight, right? I mean, if you're that advanced, really, is that what you're going to do? We're just going to go conquer. We're so advanced that we still have that kind of mentality. And would it even be living beings? Or would it be like, what we're going to wind up doing is just having, AI go do it for us because it can just live virtually. It can be awake and thinking with power forever. But it doesn't need to have sustained life. I don't know. Anyway, it's a comet, whatever. Who knows? I don't really know. 2021. Angola is the last country to use leaded gasoline, which is kind of crazy. And they said by just Angola, which is not a very big country, stopping using leaded gasoline, that it'll save over 1 million lives. Because leaded gasoline pretty much was killing every human being on the planet, and did. It killed a lot of people, just like forever chemicals do, like carbon 8, which is here forever. That's what your Teflon's made out of. Just like plastics that are in our brains and everywhere else. So microplastics, I drink out of a plastic bottle. Yay. Don't use Magic's Eraser by Mr. Clean. Lots of little microplastics that it puts in the thing. I know it does a great job cleaning the sneakers, but it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so harmful for us. It's like, but that's what's killing us. That's it. It's not. It's the vaccines. That's what's doing it. Nothing else, I'm sure. Something. I can't read my handwriting. Sorry. Slumdog Millionaire premieres in the Telluride Film Festival. Turns out to be best film of the year for 2009. And in 2015, Kanye announces he's going to be president in 2020. How'd that work out for you? No, not so much. All right. So, birthdays on this day. Now, okay. We've had Alexander the Great, right? He was born. So I guess you have to have born in 1334 is Peter the Cruel. I was like, really? That's real. You're listed as Peter the Cruel. All right. I forget where he was, but obviously not a great place if you're Peter the Cruel. Let the party begin. Barely than ever. Hey, Todd. I see the sign in the back. Yes, Right, yes, that was from today. They were giving that. And I said, don't adjust the color on your monitor. I am, in fact, that red. I am that red. So, yeah, But, yeah, Peter the Cruel. What the hell? I mean, I love the fact that it's like, get rid of crossbows, that'll end all war. And you're Peter the Cruel. That's your title. 1797, Mary Shelley was born. Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein. So that's a pretty large feat for a woman back in 1797. If you think about it, there was not a whole lot of women's rights at that point, and everything else, and she wrote Frankenstein and got it published and made fame of it. So I think that's great. Okay, so then in 1908, Fred McMurray of My Three Sons is born. Okay, I'm going to screw his name up. But Hillerman was last name. He, in 1919, he created 36 vaccines, basically. He was sort of the father of vaccines, including measles, mumps, hepatitis A and B, chickenpox, and a few other ones. Maurice Hillman, I think. Maurice Hillman. So even in 1919, we were vaccinating people because, they save our lives and our children's lives and that stuff. So I don't know. Didn't seem to be bad science in 1919. Apparently it is in 2025. Just saying. 1927. Sorry. 1925. Laurette de Berhoff. Barbar the Elephant. He created Barbar the Elephant. He was the creator, writer, illustrator for Barbar the Elephant. My mom was a librarian and the children's librarian, so I know all the children's library things. So Barbar was a big hit. Loved Barbar the Elephant. Then this is what Bill Daly, born on this day in 1927. He was the actor who played Roger on I Dream of Jeannie. We just talked about Barbara Eden the other day. She was like 91. I'm like, outstanding. You go, I Dream of Jeannie. I wish for longevity. Boop, 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 boop. And you live forever. Or at least till you're old and much older than most. 1930, Ernie Ball. If you are a musician in any way, shape, or form, you probably know Ernie Ball because he made your guitar strings. Ernie Ball guitar strings and a bunch of other guitar accessories. And they are still in existence today, like fourth generation family. Ernie died in I think the not too long ago, but yeah, his family still does it. They still go on and make these products. So that's a thing. So Ernie Ball was a human, real person. Sorry. 1930. Today, 95 years old, Warren Buffett. So, yeah, I guess, money can buy you longevity. I don't know if it can buy you happiness, but it sure can buy you longevity. Buy the best doctors in the world. Good living? I don't know. 95, that's pretty good. Go Warren Buffett. Guess it's good to be the richest person on the planet. In 2008, at least, he was. John Phillips, 1935, of the Mamas and the Papas, California Dreamin'. Ba, 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 Monday, Monday. And of course, California Dreamin'. You all know that song if you do it. Now, this one I found, I was like, really? So I had to fall into the rabbit hole. 1941, Ben Jones. Okay, Ben Jones was an actor. He played Cooter on The Dukes of Hazzard. But he was also a U.S. House of Representatives in Georgia. I was like, wait, what? So he parlayed his Cooter fame into be a U.S. House of Representatives, like, for Georgia for a couple times. I was like, interesting. So yeah, he was, the mechanic that did all this stuff. I guess he lived in Georgia. He commuted to L.A. to do the filming. A lot of the filming was done, literally, he said, in his couple miles away from where he actually lived and resided in Georgia. He was the head of the Screen Actors Guild in Georgia, and a bunch of other things. So yeah, he just played that, dumb Cooter, but no, he was actually a fairly smart guy that, went ahead and made a lot more than just being the actor sidekick in The Dukes of Hazzard. I was like, oh, well, good for you. Very, very good. 1943, Robert Crumb, controversial cartoonist. He did Fritz the Cat. He also did album covers for the Grateful Dead, Janis Joplin, everything else. He's 87 or 82 today. 82. Got to do my math right. 1943 is 82. Yes. Charles Colbert, American Breed. Bend me, shape me any way you want me. I wanna. Good song. I listened to it earlier. I was like, oh, that's a fun song. I love that song. I haven't heard that one forever. Peggy Lipton. She was Julie on the Mod Squad. I was like, yes, because we talked about the actor who played Link on the Mod Squad the other day. 1948, Fred Hampton. He was the leader of the Black Panthers. I believe he was killed in 1969, I think is when he was killed, I believe. I think he was shot in his home, if I'm not mistaken. I could be, but I think so. 1948, also Louis Black, comedian. Met Louis Black when he was here in Columbus, did a show. He was very nice guy. He's pretty much like you would think, though, in person. He wasn't much different than his comedic act. He was just kind of, a little boisterous and loud, and he was just kind of funny, just riffing off the cuff the whole time, which is good. It was funny. Mitch Moody, born on this day in 1950. Whitesnake. He was in the band Whitesnake. Remember Tawny Katane, the whole hood of the car thing? We talked about that one recently as well. 1963, Michael Chiklis is born on this day. He was the commish. He was also in the one of the L.A. crime story things. But you probably know him better as Ben Grimm, the Thing in the Fantastic Four movies, Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four Silver Surfer. He's the bald guy that was the Thing. Ben Grimm. 1963, Paul Oakenfold. Now, that's what I was listening to before I was listening to Rob Zombie 1965. So Paul Oakenfold, this is one of the things where Shazam, one of my favorite apps. It's probably one of my favorite apps on my phone that I use all the time. So I hear a song, be like, what is that song? I like that song. First heard the song, it's Ready, Steady, Go. And it was during the little chase scene in The Bourne Identity, the first Bourne, when he's in with the girl and the little Minnie, and he's like dodging in and out. It's also then in Collateral with Tom Cruise in a fight scene. So if you like any electronica, just check it out. Check out Paul Oakenfold, Ready, Steady, Go. Because you'll be like, oh, you've heard that. If you've seen any of those movies, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that soundtrack, what that song is from. Yeah, Paul Oakenfold's an electronics guy, and yeah, some of this other stuff's pretty good too. Lars Fredrickson of Rancid, born on this day. Also, 1972 birthday, Cameron Diaz, actress Cameron Diaz. I've always found her to be funny in the stuff she does. She seems like she'd be actually someone that would be cool to know. She just seems like one of these actors that an actor that would be very cool to know. Now, not because she's super famous, but just seems like she just from my perception seems like a relatively down to earth person that would actually be kind of fun to hang out with and just know, not too. I don't know. I guess not too full of themselves. That's just my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong. She could be a total jackass. I don't know. She's not the Gwyneth Paltrow, and she doesn't have hoo-ha smelling candles. So that's all I'm saying. Aaron Barrett of Real Big Fish birthday today from 1974. And 1986, Brian Ross of Panic at the Disco. I just saw they're playing somewhere. I don't know where. I just saw something that they're playing somewhere recently. I don't know if it's here or somewhere, but sorry, I'm parched from the sun. I need to hydrate more. I was not drinking enough water at the game because I didn't want to have to go pee. Because if you have to go pee, you've got to get in this giant line where there's 107,000 people trying to use bathrooms. It can be a struggle. All right. So who do we lose on this day? Since we had Peter the Cruel born on this day in 1334, I had to find someone. So Thordic the Great left us on this day in 526. Thordic the Great. So Peter the Cruel, Thordic the Great. Not Alexander the Great, but at least it was somebody great. All right, 1938, Max Factor. Maximilian was his first real name, but Max Factor, who was the cosmetics guy. Still to this day, you can get Max Factor products. Get your eyeliner, get your eyelash stuff, get your rouge and blush and all that stuff. Max Factor. 1983, Richard Jordan. I was like, why do I know that name? Then I was like, oh, wait, that was Logan in Logan's Run. He also was in The Hunt for Red October. The Logan's Run is one of those movies that I don't know if it was remade, like if there's been a remake of it. There probably has been. But if they didn't do justice for the original one. It was a really interesting plot, the original Logan's Run. Basically, where they kill everybody. Society, they kill everybody at a certain age. You get to live to be like 27 years old, and then that's it. You go to Carousel, and they basically, you go on to a better place. It's like they off you. So they keep the certain number of society. And society, do whatever you want. They doesn't seem to have many jobs. And, people just kind of go do their thing. And, it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And, you come and go, and then that's it. But yeah, no one's done, I don't think, a good job of remaking that. But he was the main character in that movie. It was a pretty good movie. Logan's Run. Storm Morris, born on this, or left us on this day, of Velvet Underground. The Velvet Underground. 2003, Charles Bronson. Now he was like, one of these actors. He did the movie, what he's really famous for was Death Wish. But he did like The Dirty Dozen. What else did he do? He did another couple of war movies. But Death Wish was where Bronson was really famous for. And basically, I think a couple other movies or real life monitor later. Like Joker had that scene, and there was some other things. But basically, Bronson was a vigilante in Death Wish on the subway, and he shot a mugger and then became that vigilante. He just sort of like didn't want to get mugged, and then shot a guy, and then went about and basically became that guy that would go hunt down bad people on the subways and such. So, yeah, Charles Bronson, Death Wish. I think that came out in the 70s. I don't know. Have not seen that for a while. Then, as I talked about, because of the comet, 2004, Fred Lawrence Whipple left us. But Fred Lawrence Whipple, he basically was the guy that came up with the concept. They call it the dirty snowball theory. Basically saying that comets are nothing but big, dirty snowballs. That they're just big masses of ice with a bunch of crap in it, like rolling a big snowball in your front yard, and you pick up rocks and stones and branches and leaves and dirt and grass and all that stuff, and that's what sort of sheds as it flies through the galaxy. And when it gets near the sun, it starts to, shed that stuff off. And that's what you're seeing sort of out there sparkling and shining and burning or whatever is all that dirty snowball crap. So that was the guy who created that theory of the dirty snowball. So yeah, we have this third interstellar object that's coming into our solar system. Is it a comet? Is it an alien spaceship? Will it come and hit us? I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Eventually something will hit us of whether it's going to hit us at any day now or 100,000 years from now, at some point, or 1,000,000 years from now, something will hit us again that we won't be ready for, that will create some catastrophic, results. So hold on tight, peeps. Here it comes. 2006, we lost Glenn Ford. He was an actor who was in the movie Midway, I think, and a bunch of other movies. I didn't bother to look up too much. I was getting late and tired. 2015, we lost Wes Craven. Now, Wes is the guy, if you remember, he did Nightmare on Elm Street. He also did Scream. He was pretty good, pretty famous for doing all that good stuff. Good old Wes Craven. And then in 2022, we lost Russian leader Mikhail Gorbachev. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall, says Ronald Reagan. So that's the list of things, historical things, people born, people die on this day. So, it was a interesting day. Like I said, kind of a crazy day. Grief Awareness Day. So again, like I said last night, I drove an ambulance, so I've seen dead people. It was just weird to see someone that I've known for about 25 years dead. And it's not like a coffin dead. It's different when you're coffin dead than, wow, you're right in front of me dead. Like, oh, you're right there dead. Okay, someone should be doing CPR on you besides me. So that was just a weird kind of day. So being a Grief Awareness Day, I'm very aware that I was in grief and having grief. But, I guess that's the way to go. If you're going to go, that's the way to do it. Don't see it coming. Just, stepping in front of traffic. Just comet hitting the earth. Stroking out while you're watering your flowers. If you got to go, man, that's the way to do it. Or death by misadventure. That's the other way. I hear fireworks galore exploding in the background. I love the students. Good old football Saturdays. What's nice about there is a thing that's funny because noon games, which today was a noon game, almost guarantees that it's going to be a quiet evening because they party themselves out. They get cranked up early. The game's at noon. By 3 or 4 o'clock, the game ends at 3 o'clock or so. They're spent. So, 6 o'clock, man, they're not doing it anymore. If they're left, they're going to go down to the bars. They're not having ragers because everybody's already tanked. So it's always nice because it's a nice, quiet Saturday night. And Sunday's usually nice and mellow, too, because they're all, played out from I'm so hungover from Saturday. So it should be a nice weekend. And just, have a relaxing time. I'm going to have some coffee at Starbucks near noon. If you happen to come by 1036 South Front Street, you might find me there. Just saying. All right. Well, besides that, I'm going to go, maybe go fall asleep on the couch again. I did fall asleep on the couch last night. Woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, crap. I feel like crap. I guess sleeping awkwardly does make you feel like you go through the ringer because, I was like, did I twist my ankle? It was just because I was sleeping, I guess, in a weird position and my ankle was like this. Don't know. It was fun. No. Whoa. Big booms. So you probably can't hear those. It's probably enough so that you can't hear these giant boomy noises, but that was pretty boomy. Boom. So, anyway, I'm going to take my Maison de Perrier France upstairs, sit on the couch, and probably fall asleep eating a potato chip or something. I don't know. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Tomorrow, I will be back on a Sunday night, and Monday is a holiday for most everybody, so I expect to see everybody here because you have nothing else to do on Monday. You can get to stay up late, and we'll hang out. And I'll take pictures of the office. And maybe I'll have to bring the generator, but if I have someone there, maybe I'll fill up the red ball tomorrow. That'll be fun. You never know. Have a great one. Thank you. See you later. Fading to black. Oh, that was funny. The camera stopped just as it went to black. Timing.